For 5,000 years, gold has been the undisputed king of wealth. It has survived the fall of the Roman Empire, 2 world wars, and every inflationary crisis in human history. It is the physical anchor of the financial world. But as we move into 2026, a new challenger has emerged from the digital shadows, a decentralized, borderless, and mathematically perfect asset that some are calling Gold 2.0. The debate is no longer about whether you should own hard assets. The 2026 inflation numbers have already made that clear. The real question is, in a world of total digital surveillance and melting fiat currencies, which one will actually save your family's future? Is it the heavy yellow metal sitting in a vault, or the invisible code living on a global blockchain? Today, we are putting gold and Bitcoin in the ultimate wealth security showdown. We're going to look at the seizure risk of physical assets, the hackability of digital ones, and the secret reason why central banks are hoarding one while the world's elite tech billionaires are hoarding the other. If you're looking to park your wealth for the next decade, you cannot afford to be on the wrong side of this evolution. This is the battle for the future of money, and the winner might not be who you think. Let's start with the case for physical gold. In 2026, the primary reason people are flocking back to gold is simple. It has zero counterparty risk. When you hold a gold coin in your hand, you aren't relying on a power grid, an internet connection, or a private key that could be lost or stolen. You aren't relying on a bank to stay solvent or a government to keep the lights on. It is the ultimate off-grid insurance policy. In a world where central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are being rolled out to track every cent you spend, gold remains one of the few ways to store significant wealth with absolute privacy. It is the original privacy coin. Central banks know this better than anyone. As we've discussed, they are currently hoarding gold at record levels because they know that when the digital system hits a reset button, they need a physical anchor to back the new currency. Gold isn't just a commodity, it's a geopolitical weapon. But gold has its flaws, and in 2026, those flaws are becoming harder to ignore. Gold is heavy, it's hard to transport, and if you have a significant amount, it's a massive security liability. If you need to flee a country or move your wealth across a border in an emergency, carrying 50 pounds of gold is a death sentence. Furthermore, the paper gold market is often manipulated. For every 1 ounce of physical gold in existence, there are hundreds of ounces of paper gold traded on exchanges. If everyone tried to take physical delivery at once, the system would collapse. This is the liquidity trap that many gold bugs refuse to acknowledge. Now, let's look at the challenger, Bitcoin, or the digital gold. Bitcoin was designed specifically to solve the portability and scarcity problems of physical gold. It is the first asset in human history with a truly fixed supply. There will only ever be 21 million, and that number is enforced by the laws of mathematics, not the promises of politicians. In 2026, Bitcoin is no longer a speculative toy. It has become a sovereign asset. It is the ultimate tool for financial mobility. You can carry $1 billion across a border in your head simply by remembering a 12-word seed phrase. It cannot be seized by a physical army. It cannot be devalued by a central bank printing more. It is the first form of money that is pure truth. It is open source, verifiable, and globally liquid 24 hours a day. But Bitcoin has its own boogeyman, the digital net. In a world of increasing cyber warfare and government-led digital crackdowns, many worry that Bitcoin could be turned off, or that the on-ramps and off-ramps could be blocked. While the network itself is virtually unhackable, the human element, the exchanges, the wallets, and the users remain vulnerable. If you lose your private keys, your wealth is gone forever. There is no customer service for Bitcoin. This absolute responsibility is terrifying for the average person who is used to a bank protecting them. In 2026, as we see more sophisticated AI-driven phishing attacks, the security of digital gold is only as good as the person holding the keys. So, which one wins the 2026 security showdown? To answer that, we have to look at the threat models. If your biggest fear is a total CME solar flare or a permanent collapse of the global power grid, then physical gold is your undisputed winner. It will always have value, even in a post-technology world. It is the end of the world asset. However, if your biggest fear is government seizure, hyperinflation, or the CBDC surveillance state, then Bitcoin is the superior tool. It allows you to move at the speed of light, stay outside the digital fence, and keep your wealth liquid in an increasingly volatile global market. Bitcoin is the agile wealth asset. The smart money in 2026 isn't choosing one. They are using a hybrid strategy. They use gold as their final insurance policy, the wealth they never intend to spend unless the world truly falls apart. And they use Bitcoin as their growth and mobility engine, the wealth that allows them to pivot, invest, and stay ahead of the invisible recession. The elite are positioning themselves so that they are protected both in the physical and the digital realms. They know that the great wealth transfer will favor those who are diversified across the old world and the new economy. By holding both, you are essentially hedging against the failure of the dollar from two different directions. We also have to discuss the generational shift. In 2026, we are seeing the boomer gold being sold off to buy millennial Bitcoin. As the younger generation inherits the $84 trillion we've talked about, they are moving it into the assets they understand. They grew up with the internet.
They trust code more than they trust marble buildings. This demographic tailwind for Bitcoin is something that gold simply doesn't have. Gold is fighting to maintain its value, while Bitcoin is fighting to capture the future. But don't count gold out just yet. There is a new movement called tokenized gold. This involves putting physical gold on the blockchain, allowing you to own gold with the speed and divisibility of Bitcoin. While this sounds like the best of both worlds, remember the counterparty risk. If you own tokenized gold, you are still relying on a company to actually hold that gold in a vault. You are back to trusting a middleman. In 2026, the theme is trustlessness. If you don't hold the physical metal or the private keys, you don't own the asset. The 2026 Wealth Security Showdown is really about your personal exit strategy. If you are 70 years old and looking to preserve what you have for your grandkids, a heavy bag of gold in a safe might be all you need. But if you are 30 or 40 years old, trying to build a life in a world dominated by AI, digital currencies, and global mobility, Bitcoin is the tool that gives you the most leverage. It is the asymmetric asset that can turn a small amount of savings into a life-changing fortune, whereas gold is lucky if it keeps pace with real inflation. The system wants you to stay in paper assets. They want you in stocks, bonds, and bank accounts where they can tax you, track you, and bail you in when the next crisis hits. Both gold and Bitcoin are exit ramps from that system. They are the two pillars of sovereignty. The real winner of this showdown is the person who understands that the dollar is a melting ice cube and takes action to move their life energy into something that cannot be printed. Whether it's yellow or digital, the goal is the same: independence. Tomorrow, take a look at your portfolio. How much of it is just promises from a bank or a government, and how much of it is hard reality? In the 2026 economy, the ratio of your promises to your reality will determine your survival. The hoarding has started. The elite have made their choice. The central banks are filling their vaults, and the tech titans are filling their wallets. The exit door is still open, but the crowd is starting to push through. If this deep dive into the gold versus Bitcoin showdown helped you clarify your strategy, hit the like button and share this with someone who is still holding too much cash. We are here to help you navigate the Great Reset with facts, math, and strategy. Subscribe to Coin Crush for more updates on the secret moves of the financial elite. Watch this next video where I show you the 3 best hardware wallets for 2026 to keep your digital gold safe from the coming AI phishing wave. I'll show you exactly how to set them up for maximum security. I'll see you in the next one. Protect your wealth. Your 10-year clock starts now.